What could cause a man to murder the people who cared for him and loved him the most? Longo, who grew up in Ypsilanti Township, Michigan, said he had a good childhood. He grew up in his church and was trained to perform door-to-door ministry. He married Mary Jane Baker, a woman 7 years his senior, at the age of 19, after meeting her in the parking lot of his church. Longo had money issues before the wedding when he purchased Baker a 3.5-carat diamond ring on a payment plan. He couldn't afford both rent and a ring one month, so he stole $108 from his employer at a camera store. When asked about the missing funds, Longo remained silent. The next morning, he said, "He resigned and placed a check for the stolen cash on the counter." Longo said he was sorry and had learned his lesson. But Longo's apparent addiction to new automobiles, good clothes, and exotic holidays drained his credit long before Zachary, their first child, was born. Mary Jane Longo quit her job to care for the newborn, and 2 more children arrived within 2 years. The pride kept Longo from asking for help from his parents. Longo claims he was awoken one morning by the sound of a tow truck in his driveway, repossessing his vehicle. The Longo marriage was also in trouble. Longo's was cash-strapped once again, therefore, he cashed fake checks from firms owing him money. The firms called the cops, and Longo appeared in court. He pleaded guilty and got 3 years probation, but because he overstated his income to keep up appearances, he was compelled to pay restitution considerably beyond his means. After elders in the church heard about Longo's check frauds in a newspaper, he was banned. Christian Longo thought it was time to start over, with friends and members of the congregation worried about Mary Jane dropping by and creditors continuously phoning. Despite the fact that moving out of state would break Christian's probation, the Longos packed their belongings and relocated from Michigan to a warehouse in Toledo, Ohio. Longo lied to his wife, claiming that they already paid then rent for 6 months, but in the meantime, he was cashing more fraudulent checks to stay afloat. Longo had already gathered up his family and moved before he could be prosecuted with collecting stolen construction materials and passing bad checks. Mary Jane and her spouse were essentially fleeing the law in their stolen SUV and Penske moving truck. Mary Jane, he claims, was unaware of the problem. The Longos finally rented a tiny vacation cottage in Waldport, Oregon. Unfortunately, he got behind on payments and was refused a reprieve. To pay for a stay at a Newport, Oregon, motor inn, he pawned some stolen crab rings.